Alright everyone, welcome back again to some more Umineko. At this point, we're starting to see paths start diverging at long last, and it's looking pretty grim as per usual because now it's only a matter of time before we see more, I guess, mistreatment of Maria happening, Rosa losing her mind as usual, and the, again, soon-to-be appearance of Beatrice causing all more trouble, you know? I'm curious to see how this all comes about though, like, I don't know how far we are from the closing of this episode, but if it's anything like the last, we're gonna go through another 30 parts or so, I don't know, but I want to see how different it is from episode 1, and so on and so forth. So if anything else guys, hope you all continue to enjoy, thank you all for the love and support, and let's keep it going. Alright everyone, welcome back, let's continue on. Until Maria's mood improved, many mysterious and fabulous episodes regarding the Golden Witch were drilled into his brain.
もうよしなさい、マリア。ありがとうね、バトラ君。お話に付き合ってくれて。カノン君、お仕事があるんでしょ？もう行ってちょうだい。ゴーダさん、みんなとりあえず荷物を置きたがってると思うの。悪いんだけど、みんなをゲストハウスへ案内してくれるかしら。
かしこまりました。それでは皆様、ゲストハウスへご案内いたします。
それでは、失礼いたします。
Led by Goda, the relatives headed off in the direction of the guest house. Their minds on setting down their luggage and taking a quick rest, they didn't notice that Rosa and Maria had stayed in the same spot. After watching them leave towards the guest house, Rosa's features changed suddenly. She let go with the hand that had been gripping Maria's arm the whole time. There was a bright red mark there, making it clear how much excessive force she had been gripping Maria's slender arm with. That hand then smacked Maria over the head and pulled her left ear up into the air, pinching it sharply.
魔女の話はするなといつも言ってるでしょうが。
It doesn't take much to set her off now, does it?
それはママとの約束だといつも言っているでしょ。ママ痛い！ママ痛い！痛い！痛い！ハロウィン、ハロウィン、うるさいのよ、あんたは。魔女のお祭り？ケルト人が何よ、黒魔術が何よ、バカじゃないの。
There's nothing wrong with wanting to learn about some, you know, Celtic myth, any kind of myth. They're all fun. I don't know about Rosa over here. I understand why she's upset because her daughter doesn't seem to be maturing in the sense that she expects her to, but I mean, you can't really blame her either because of how she treats her either.
あんた9歳よ、9歳！電車であんなに騒ぐから、わざわざ電車降りてまでその蛍光塗料みたいな気持ち悪いお化けマシュマロを買ってやったのよ！遅刻してまであんたに買ってやったのよ！あんた、どこまで私の顔を潰せば気が済むのよ！
As Rosa cursed, she twisted Maria's ear up, making it seem like it was going to snap off. An expression of anguish spread across Maria's face, and she stood on her tiptoes as though her life depended on it, trying to soften the pain on her ear that it was being pulled. Rosa suddenly stole the candy that Maria had been holding in her hand. Then she threw it on the ground and stepped on it over and over. To Maria, it was supposed to be proof of her memory of that span of time, however brief, when she had enjoyed going shopping with her mother. But it was being trampled by that very same mother. It was as though a brand was being pushed against Maria's eyes, leaving a mark that couldn't be erased.
こんな気持ち悪いお菓子が何よ！気持ち悪い！気持ち悪い！あんたがそんなんだから！あんたがそんなんだから！気持ち悪い！気持ち悪い！気持ち悪い！
She struck Maria's head over and over again with her palm as she spoke. She didn't hit Maria's face because the red swelling would stand out. Maria closed her eyes tightly, patiently bearing her mother's violence. No, that wasn't quite it.
帰ってきてママ！帰ってきてママ！助けてママ！助けてママ！悪い魔女に打ち勝って！
She kept bearing it, muttering that over and over.
だから！その 魔女ってのやめろっつってんのよこの
Rosa's shoulders shook as she breathed, tired from hitting. Maria grasped her hands together, withstanding it, hoping her mother would come back quickly.
早く帰ってきて。マリアを助けてよ、ママ。悪い魔女をやっつけてよ。
いつまでもそこでそうしていなさい。そしてそこで魔女でもハロウィンでもいつまでもブツブツ一人で言ってればいいのよ。
After throwing those words at Maria, Rosa went off towards the guest house, leaving Maria behind. Maria, unable to even remember that it was alright to cry, kept staring down at the trampled, unrecognizable jack-o'-lantern candy.
Rosa.
I have to wonder if it maybe it's just this episode, but was this the only time Maria was left alone? Because the only time I remember she was left alone in terms of outside the manor was when she was trying to find her rose that George marked for her, the rose that was deteriorating. And that was when she met the witch after she gave her the letter to deliver to the family. But I'm not sure if she was alone any other time in that first episode. Here, she's alone because her mom left her after telling the story about Halloween and destroyed her candy. So, I don't know if she'll meet the witch earlier in this version, or that's what I'm curious about.
どこ行ってたの？ごめんなさい。バラが素敵だったもので、ついつい。
ローザ、早く荷物を置いてこいよ。兄貴んとこへ挨拶に行こうぜ。
ん？マリアちゃんはどうしたんや？まだ花壇におるんかいな。
ええ。気に入ったバラがあるみたいで、世話をするって言って聞かなくて。しばらくは好きにさせることにしました。
女の子には女の子の世界があったことを、私たちはたまに忘れるわ。時には尊重してあげないとね。
そうね。お気遣いをありがとう、キリエ姉さん。ゴーダさん、私たちの部屋はどこ？
ご案内いたします。こちらでございます。お荷物をお持ちいたしましょう。
結構よ。自分で持てます。ありがとう。
Rosa went into the room that Goda had guided her to. Closing the door somewhat violently, she threw her luggage on top of the bed. She got down on her knees in front of the bed and buried her face in it. For a while, Rosa made as if to shred the sheets with her fingernails, sobbing continually.
マリア様、大丈夫ですか？
Kanon, who had been hiding behind a thicket, appeared after watching Rosa leave.
平気だよ。
See, this is also why I didn't feel sorry for her, because of this personality or this character right here before us. I don't even know if the Maria that I liked in the beginning was even the real personality, or if that was just a fake. Maria laughed unpleasantly, but to Kanon, who had seen the whole thing, it looked like she was enduring as best she could.
最低のやつだ。あれで母親なんて。
仕方ないよ。その程度の器には、その程度のが入り込む。マリアは全然平気だよ。
Kanon got down on his knees and picked up the trampled candy. It was tragic just looking at it. He thought about dusting it off and returning it to her, but really couldn't do so with it in that condition. As he was at a loss of what to do, he met eyes with Maria. No, they didn't meet. Maria was looking at the candy that Kanon had picked up. Right now, Maria's heart was surely the same as that trampled candy which had been crushed into a pulp. Kanon realized this, but he didn't know what he should do.
そうだ。さっき僕がもらったのと交換してあげるよ。
Kanon remembered that an identical candy, which he had received from Maria, was in his pocket. Maria stuck out her hand. Kanon thought she was trying to accept it, so he held out the candy, but Maria didn't try to grasp it. Then Kanon realized she was asking him to give it back. No matter how tragic it was, the trampled candy was Maria's. Her mother had bought it for her. No matter how tragic it had to be, this candy, if only it could be made pretty again by dusting it off. Kanon hung his head.
僕には誇りを払う程度しかできない。ごめん。
Kanon held out that miserable candy she wanted. Maria took it and spoke.
ありがとう。人間には誇りしか払えないけど、魔女には元通りに直すことができるよ。
That's my other problem. She's too reliant on Beatrice.
ベアトリーチェなら簡単にね。
Granted, she is a child. I get it. But I just feel like she should know a little better. Just a little bit. Not a lot. But then again, she's been abused so much at this point, I can't really blame her either. Alright, this character right here, I'm so conflicted with right now.
マリア様はベアトリーチェ様のことをご存知なのですか？
There couldn't be anyone related to the Ushiromiya family who didn't know Beatrice's name, with Battler as an exception. But just now, Maria had told Battler about her proudly. She had spoken almost as though she had been meeting with Beatrice regularly. The inside of the fist Kanon made with his left hand hurt sharply. In the past, a witch called Beatrice had appeared and had tempted him, and Shannon... I'm so used to calling Kanon and not Canon. That's why when I say Shannon, I almost say Shannon. He had always tried to make himself think it had been a bad dream. However, Shannon insisted that it had definitely been a real witch. And then this summer, the shrine to the local Shinto god had been hit by lightning and had disappeared without a trace in the span of a single night. He had known that Shannon had broken the mirror. And he remembered too that upon the witch's departure, she had left him with the words that she would eventually be revived. And now, this girl who had no end of faith in Beatrice spoke as though she had met her. Kanon couldn't suppress a sense of something ominous welling up in his heart. For a while, Maria remained silent as though she could see into Kanon's heart. As though she was waiting for his memory of Beatrice to come back to him. Then she spoke matter-of-factly.
マリアはね、ベアトリーチェとお友達なの。今日だって会って一緒に遊ぶよ。
遊びますか？
うん。遊ぶよ。一緒にね、魔法のお勉強をするの。
That doesn't fill me with any confidence, because that just in my head, that puts into my head that there's a possibility that Maria ended up aiding the witch in killing the family. If they're learning magic together, then who's to say she didn't use any sort of spells to, you know, make it to the family one by one, or all four, or, you know, all of them got murdered in the way they have been in episode 1. The face of the witch who Kanon had tried to pretend was a bad dream began to slowly creep into the back of his mind.
お父様は研究で大変ご多忙と仰せです。残念ながら、こちらへはおいでになれないとのことです。
やれやれ。こっちとら秋の大忙しの中、日程をつけて、はるばる六軒島まで来てるんだぜ。親父も少しは愛想を良くしてもらいたいもんだぜ。
ほんとよね。南條先生、
本当に研究や機嫌の問題なの？ベッドから起き上がれないくらいに容体が悪いって言うんじゃないの？
さて、どうでしょうかな。私の口からは何とも。
Nanjo glanced at Natsuhi, as though he wasn't qualified to disregard Natsuhi when he spoke on this topic.
お父様は、ますますにご健康でいらっしゃいます。寝たきりなどと、失礼極まりない。
でも余命3ヶ月なんでしょ？普通に考えれば、痩せ衰えてベッドからも起きられないはずよ。でしょ、南條先生？
並の患者ならそうでしょうがな。金蔵さんは並外れた気力をお持ちです。あの気迫にお迎えも恐れて近寄れないのかもしれませんな。
それほどまでにお元気なら、少なくとも安心ね。
そこまで元気なら、せめて挨拶くらいはさせてほしいもんなんだがな。親族会議ってのは、親父の顔を見に来たって意味なんだぜ。これじゃあ、何のために来たのかわからねえぜ。
そう言うな。いればいたで、心が休まらないといつもぼやくのだろうが。兄弟一同水入らずで今年も全員欠けることなく集まれたことを喜ぼうじゃないかね。
昨年の親族会議でも会えなかったのよ。血を分けた子供たちが2年ぶりに挨拶したいというのがどうして理解してもらえないのかしら。
挨拶の言葉があるのでしたら、私どもがお伝えします。それとも、エヴァさん？何かお父様にお会いして、挨拶以上のお話でもあられるのですか？
いやね。何の話よ、もう。
予算か、エヴァ。夏井さん、堪忍な。エヴァも娘として、お父さんの病状が不安なだけなんや。ちょいと気持ちを汲み取ってな。
その通りだな。エヴァは親父殿が余命を宣告されてから急に親孝行をするようになったじゃないか。なるほど。その姿をぜひ見てもらいたいという気持ちもわからなくない。
何が言いたいのよ。
よせよ、姉貴。晩飯までには機嫌を直してくれるよう祈ろうじゃねえか。それに俺たちは到着したばかり。まずは軽く挨拶に訪れただけだぜ。親族会議は親父抜きだってできる。いや、兄弟で意見を統一してからじゃなきゃ話せねえことだっていろいろあるはずだぜ。な、秀吉兄さん。
そうや。ルドルフ君の言う通りや。わしらが全員顔を揃えるのは年に一度しかない。貴重な時間を大事にし、忌憚ない話し合いをせんといかん。
Even though the tea hadn't even come yet, they were very strong-minded.
でも、その前に本家の素晴らしい調度品に囲まれた客間で、のんびりと紅茶を楽しむゆとりがあってもいいんじゃないかしら。
Kirie's words seemed to hold some slight admonishment towards all of the people gathered in that place. They all understood, and as they cleared their throats and straightened their neckties, the atmosphere in the room returned to normal for a moment.
失礼します。お茶をお持ちいたしました。
よー、シャノンちゃん。ますますべっぴんさんになったな。
Shannon entered the parlor, pushing the serving cart. Everyone decided to slowly enjoy some black tea for the time being. A wonderful aroma began to spread throughout the parlor. Looking at the scene, it would have been impossible to guess the strained atmosphere which had been there until right before Shannon had entered. Of course, Shannon, who was setting out the tea, probably didn't even notice. Kirie made a gesture that seemed to laugh at everyone's adult appearance. Rudolph didn't like it when Kirei took the initiative and spoke at the family conference. It was his worthless male pride. He probably didn't want to look like a weak man taking his wife's advice. She understood that and was doing her best to refrain from saying anything unnecessary. So she separated herself from the circle of siblings, which was good-natured only in appearance, and slowly enjoyed her tea near the window.
あら、ローザさん。兄弟で水入らずなのでは？
ご冗談を。
ごめんなさい。気を悪くしないで。うちの夫に呆れてるだけだから。
It seemed that Rosa hadn't been able to keep up the charade of amicability. They had come here to fight bloodily and dirtily, each trying to steal the inheritance from the others. She probably didn't want to pretend to be fellow conspirators at this stage. Or maybe she was still much too inexperienced for that.
だいぶ風が出てきているようですね。枝葉があんなに揺れて。
もう台風が近くまで来ているのでしょうね。今夜あたりからはだいぶ降るのかしら。
マリアちゃん、この1年で随分立派になりましたね。
そう見えます？未だに自分のお洋服を畳むことすらできないんですよ。
ええ。こんなにも愛情たっぷりなお母さんと一緒なんですもの。心の豊かな子に成長しますよ。
I would normally believe that if it wasn't for the fact that we know how this mother treats her. She'll grow into something, alright. I'm a little worried as to what she may become if this keeps up. Rosa was silent. Maybe she wasn't sure as to how Kirei meant that.
私なんて母親失格ですよ。
That's very much true, yes.
子に生まれる親は選べない。あの子がかわいそうで。
お互い様じゃないですか。親だって生まれる子は選べない。
Rosa bit her lower lip.
どちらが悪いとかじゃなくて、一緒に生きていくんだという気持ちで、ゆっくり成長を見守ってあげればいいじゃないですか。ローザさんは毎日をマリアちゃんと過ごしてるから、小さな変化に気づかないかもしれないけれど。
You know, after listening to Kirei give this, this advice to Rosa, I'm honestly hoping that throughout these episodes to come, we're gonna get more in-depth with each of the characters. Like, so far, we're pretty much learning more about Rosa right now. And I'm really interested in Kirei's turn to come, hopefully. I'm not certain, but it would be nice, because I want to see how she came to be a part of the family, her connection to Rudolph, okay, we know her connection to Rudolph as the wife, but I meant, earlier meetings, as well as her bond with Battler.
1年ぶりに再会した私たちには、その大きな成長ぶりがよくわかりますよ。
もし、本気で言ってくれてるなら、ありがとうございます。
それでは、失礼いたします。ご用がありましたらいつでもお呼びつけください。
Shannon bowed politely and left the room. After Hideyoshi and Rudolph watched her go with turned heads, the atmosphere in the room began to revert back to what it had been right before Shannon had visited.
お父様がいらっしゃられないなら、それはそれでできる話もあるというものよ。ねえ、ルドルフ？
ああ、そうだな。俺たちははるばるここまで、埃の匂いがする紅茶を飲みに来たわけじゃねえぜ。
よかろう。一秒を争ってお前たちがしたいという話を聞こうじゃないか。
やれやれ。たくましい人たちね。早速始めたわ。
私も加わらないといけないわ。あの人たち、私が主張しないと、4人兄弟であることをすぐ忘れるから。
あなたも大変ね。ちょっと言葉を選ばなかったかしら。ごめんなさい。
ううん。気にしてません。こちらこそ、ごめんなさい。私たち、互いに娘を持つ母親同士なんだから、もっと交流しなきゃいけないのに。いっつも会えば変な話ばかりで。
この屋敷の空気のせいよ。 ここの空気を嗅ぐと、いっつも私たちはギスギスし合ってるもの。ローザさんとは親族会議じゃない席で、一度ゆっくりお茶でも飲みたいわ。銀座に行きつけの素敵な喫茶店があるの。ぜひ今度招待させて。
ありがとう、キリエさん。その時はぜひ。
いやーね、急に空が暗くなってきたわ。まるでこの部屋の人たちが天気を悪くしてるみたい。もうゴロゴロ鳴ってるわ。あら、ぽつりと来たかしら。
There really were small splashes of rain on the glass of the parlor window. It seemed that the weather had gotten worse faster than they expected. Just then, a silent thunderbolt struck inside Rosa's head, and she remembered that her beloved child was in the rose garden. A normal girl would think about going to the house if the weather got bad, but Maria was different. She would sometimes become stubborn and wouldn't move no matter whether the rain or even spears fell from the sky. That's right, I told that kid just stayed there doing that forever, didn't I? Okay, so it's kind of like an alternative path then. Okay, I'm thinking a mix of time travel, but it's not. It's essentially another what if you will. Because episode 1, she was out in the rain because of the rose. This time, she's out in the rain because her mother told her to stay and be the way she is. As well as, dust off that candy that the mom stomped on. At this small exclamation, everyone turned to look at Rosa.
なんだ、どうしたんだね。
ごめんなさい。ちょっと表に行ってきます。すぐ戻ります。
なんだ、どうしたってんだ、あいつ。
いいじゃない。すぐ戻るわよ。それより始めたら？私たちの本題。
そうね。ローザ抜きでも進められる話よ。話を戻しましょう。
Rosa dashed from the entrance hall into the rose garden. When she opened the door, the wind that hit her was too strong to be called a breeze and told her that the typhoon was approaching faster than she had thought. Just as Kyrie had said, small droplets of rain were mixed in with the wind. There was also the low rumble of thunder. It could start raining any time. Rosa headed for the rose garden. She headed for the place where she had scolded Maria a short while ago. It was almost lunchtime. The children had been told that they could just come to the mansion at lunchtime, so they were probably in the guest house waiting to be called. Even if Maria didn't come, they would surely think that I had taken her to the mansion with me and wouldn't worry much. After all, she was with her mother, so there shouldn't have been anything to worry about. Except I was here and had thrown my daughter into the worsening weather outside all alone.
Maria! いるなら返事をして!
It really was as I thought. She was standing stock still, exactly the same way she had been in the place where I had scolded her. Held in her hand was the candy that I had bought, given her, and then stepped on and crushed. With that gripped in her hand, she had been standing there as the strong wind whipped her hair about, tormenting her. Man, I wonder how many times you're gonna keep apologizing for being the way you are.
ごめんね、マリア。ママを許して。
ママ、おかえり。
Alright guys, I'm gonna end the video here for today. Thank you all for watching. When we come back, we're gonna continue on with episode 2 and see the differences that occurs compared to 1. So thank you again, and until the next one.